Hi everyone, Amy here with Never Grow Up Vacations, and now it's time to come fly with Amy. So I'm in Washington, DC. I come here for work fairly often. I used to come here when we lived up in Jersey. I used to come here very often to visit, especially during cherry blossom season. And I actually, little known fact about me, so I actually did an internship at the White House at one point in my life. Yes, the White House. And I lived in DC for 6 months during that. So DC has a very special place in my heart. I love this city in and out, and I have seen just about all of it, but it never gets old because it's ever changing. So I'm here for a work trip, but I'm going to show you a couple things as I explore at night. So I am staying at the Hilton Crystal City, which is actually over in Arlington. It's across, it's actually really close to DCA, the airport, like 5 minutes, very close. So just from a proximity perspective, it is about a 15-minute drive, depending on traffic, over to like the National Mall, the monuments, everything, but still super close. So one thing I love about the Arlington area is there's a lot of hotels, still a lot to do over here, eating and dining wise, but it's way less expensive. So if you are coming to DC and you're on a little bit of a budget, it may be more cost effective for you to stay over in Arlington and then either take the metro over or just Uber or drive. I find Center City DC hotels to be, especially during popular seasons, very expensive, and those parking fees are really expensive. Now I will say parking fees are still existent over in Arlington, but they're a little cheaper sometimes than your Center City DC. So think about that when you're planning your next DC trip. But at any rate, I'm going to show you around my room today. Again, I'm at the Hilton and I do have a king bedroom. So let's take a look at this room. All right, so this is our one king room at the Hilton Crystal City. So right when you come off the hallway is a tight bathroom. I will admit that it's very small. Unfortunately, some of the Center City hotels, they just kind of cram rooms in. Looks like this marble is fairly new. It looks like they've been doing some renovations as of late, some modern touches. I will say not everything matches. So it might just be kind of like some piecemeal renovations. Here's your commode. Like when I say this is a small bathroom, like you can basically spin in a circle and you like do everything. Bathroom, pretty standard. Nothing super fancy, pretty basic. I will comment, and I've said this on like my last 4 videos, the bath products have been varied. So Crabtree and Evelyn is what's supposed to be in all of the flagship Hiltons, but you can see that I don't have shampoo, which is not ideal, so I have to make a call about that. But I do have Crabtree and Evelyn soap, which new packaging, by the way. This looks great. This is the old packaging. And then I do have a body lotion, but I do need a shampoo. But this body lotion is a one-off. This Oasis Spa, it's kind of like an off-brand. So I've noted that in my last couple videos, so hopefully that gets squared away soon with Hilton. Closet as you walk in. Oh, the robes are a nice touch. You don't always get robes in a flagship Hilton, but I will take them. Luggage stand, which I'm about to pull out. Ironing board if you need it. So there's plenty of space up there. You do have a full-size mirror here. And then this is the bedroom. It doesn't look like the carpeting has just recently been redone not long ago, so that's always good. You do have a light over here with a drawer. Again, king bed. This is pretty standard Hilton bedding. I've noticed this is pretty standard across every. You do have an adjoining room. You would go to your neighbor there. We do have a small beverage station here with your coffee, your cream, your ice bucket if you need one, and your teas. A little bit of storage right here. And then you do have a fridge down here, and it's safe. Plenty of drawer storage, so I think that's good. I'm only here for 2 nights, so probably won't need that. Big space for a desk. Plenty of outlets, especially by the desk area, so I will be using that later on today. I love, one of my favorite features of any hotel I ever stay at is either a comfortable sofa or like an ottoman like this. So this for me is perfect. You'll find me parked here with my laptop, getting some stuff done. Like that's just a standard for me. So like that. An old school telephone, very old school, so interesting. An alarm clock and drawer. So that is the room. I did want to just show quickly the perks of staying at this Hilton. So as far as I know, as of today, parking on site is $40 per day, which yes, I know it's a little bit expensive, but you're in Arlington, right outside of DC. So all in all, not all that surprised. As a Diamond member, I don't know about the other Hilton levels, but as a Diamond member, this is what I'm speaking about. I do get free breakfast in the morning, which is not now standard at all Hiltons. Hilton recently changed this a little while ago that I would get up to $15 food and beverage credit to be used towards whatever could use towards breakfast. Here at this Hilton, I am getting free breakfast plus the $15, which is really nice because that's like $30 altogether. So nice thing is I'm gonna go get breakfast and then probably grab a cocktail at the end of the night and it basically be covered. So I do like that perk, but all in all, pretty good room. Not the nicest flagship Hilton I've ever stayed in, but pretty good. I would say pretty good. Some of the flagships I notice are a little bit more old school. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. I do have a pretty nice view, nothing historic. That's on the other side. So the Pentagon is right, can't even see it, where those little like wingy things are. The Pentagon's like not too far from there, so it's a little bit blocked, but that's the memorial for the Pentagon. So that direction is the Pentagon. You can see that airplane coming in, so that's for DCA. And then this whole area, just super residential, but I like that. I guess if you face the other way, I think you'd probably be able to see the monuments and stuff. So there you have it. There is the tour of my Hilton room. Back, and today I'm going to take you on a little walking tour of Washington, DC. So it is going on, it's almost about 6 o'clock right now, so I am intentionally going a little bit later. So hopefully the crowds won't be quite as bad, and then I also want to catch sunset and maybe a little bit of the monuments at night. I do recommend seeing the monuments at night. If you have not, you can do that through just self-guided walking tours, or there are a lot of vendors that do walking and bus tours at night. The monuments at night are like a totally different thing. So always go during the day and then also go during the nighttime. So when you get dropped off at the monument area, like I usually get dropped off like right in front of the White House, and I usually just start walking and wear good walking shoes because there's a little bit of a distance in between each of the monuments, but there are some restroom facilities available, which is very important when you're touring. There's also a couple food trucks around the area, some locations to grab bottles of water so you won't like starve out there. But more importantly about this time of year is it is still cherry blossom season. So every year around mid-March to early April, there's about a 2-week period that we consider the Cherry Blossom Festival. I actually missed the Cherry Blossom Festival this year by about 2 weeks. My trip was just about 2 weeks later than that, but there's still some cherry blossoms out there, and I know that just from driving around the area. Now they're not, the ones that I've seen are nearing the end of their bloom, so not the beautiful full bloom that you'll sometimes see during the festival. Cherry blossoms are precarious. Although the National Cherry Blossom Foundation or whatnot, they announce like official like bloom date or what they think it to be, that date is ever fluid because if it snows, it doesn't happen as well. If it's windy, doesn't happen as well. If it rains, doesn't happen as well. If there's a heat flash and then a cold flash, there's so many weather factors that go into a successful cherry blossom bloom that most years it's kind of just like a haphazard bloom, if you will. So if you are planning a trip around the Cherry Blossom Festival time frame, I just always caution to go with the hope of seeing them, but don't make that be the make or break of your trip because you might be disappointed. So with that, let's go. I'm gonna go grab an Uber and I'm gonna go get dropped off near the monuments, and I'm gonna walk a little bit and kind of talk to you about some of the monuments as I'm walking and just some tips and tricks I've learned from doing this a couple of times. So let's go have some fun in DC. Hello from the nation's capital. So I'm just gonna give you a brief walking tour of where I'm at right now. So I'm currently standing at the Washington Monument. Let me show you the scale of this. Crazy, right? So I'm like right next to it, and I'm actually gonna walk up and kind of show you the size of each brick on here. It's closed. You can't go up there. Every single time I've been to DC in the last, I'm gonna say at least 10 years, it's been closed. They're like always doing something to it. So honestly, I don't know if we'll ever see it open to be able to go up in it anymore. I think that's just kind of a thing of the past. And then I'll show you over here. This is the National Mall over here. So if you come to DC, I always recommend at least a week, especially if you're looking to do like all the Smithsonian's. So if you look along the mall here, you'll see the Capitol. I'm about to zoom in. The Capitol's right there. The National Mall is that big yard right in front of it. And then on each side of it is the Smithsonian's. There's a whole bunch of them. They're all free to get into. I know during COVID they were requiring reservations, but I think most of that's been dropped. But look up before you come, because I'm not certain. So that's that. So again, just to kind of show you the scale, like this is just the base of the Washington Monument. It's absolutely huge. Like look at how big each of these bricks is. I mean, I'll show you in comparison with like my hands. Like that's my hand, right? Like huge, right? So super cool. I'm currently on the other side of the monument. I'll zoom into the White House here. There you are. There you can see the top right there. So that's the White House. You can walk down to like the South Lawn. You can walk and get a closer view there. So that's always nice to do. I usually do that a lot, so I don't always walk down there, but I'm gonna walk around here. There's always these pathways. I do want to say that the reflecting pool is drained right now, which is a little bit of a bummer. So just kind of note that unfortunately we won't get that great view like you normally do at nighttime, but that's all right. We're gonna still make the most of it. So all these are government buildings here. I actually used to work down here. As I said, I had interned at the White House, so we did tour through some of those buildings. So all of these are government buildings, so you can tour some. There's some that are a bunch off limits, so just kind of do your research prior to coming, because you just don't really ever know. Oh, and there's some cherry blossoms floating around here, like right there's some, not the kite, but the cherry blossoms. All right, so although it's a bummer that this is drained, this is something very abnormal that I actually have never seen myself while here in DC, is seeing the reflecting pool drained. But you will see people are like biking through, which is different, and again, something you don't really see all that often. So although it's a bummer, something unusual. All right, so I made it almost to the top of the Lincoln Memorial. I'm almost there. But this is kind of the view. Obviously, if the reflecting pool was filled, you'd be able to see the reflection of the Washington Monument, which is always really nice. If you like airplanes, this is right on the approach for the DCA airport, so it's always cool to come up here and watch the airplanes go by. So let's go up to the Lincoln Memorial. All right, so a little bit of change of plan. So I walked to the Lincoln Memorial, showed some of that footage. Now I'm just kind of walking the mall. So this is the American History Museum with the Smithsonian. I recommend it. It's a good one. I've been to it numerous times. There's some cherry blossoms outside, so that's really nice to see. Just to kind of show this area, all of these buildings you see illuminated now, because now the sun's going down, all Smithsonian's. Like, you could literally spend a week here doing all the free Smithsonian's. So I really, really recommend them. The Air and Space Museum was just renovated, so I even more so recommend, even if you've been to it before, I would for sure go back, because I know I need to go back. Not this trip because I don't have any time with work, but you know, future trips for sure. I'm gonna walk down to the Capitol, and then I think that might be where my tour ends out tonight. All right, so I just wanted to wrap up this little tour. So I just kind of made it to the end of the National Mall here, just looking at the Capitol. It looks really beautiful at nighttime. I'll turn around and also show you the monument. Beautiful with these clouds tonight. So just a nice little walking tour. I know I didn't walk like everything because I come out here fairly often, so when I'm here I don't do everything. So I know it was an abbreviated walking tour, but hopefully it was somewhat helpful to you. Just kind of understand the landscape of the DC area. The DC area and kind of what there is to do for free. I kind of talked through some of the Smithsonian's. There are quite a few paid museums, so just kind of plan your trip accordingly, whether you want to pay for something or not. Alright, so just to finish out this video, thank you again for joining me. I hope you thought this was helpful. I know it wasn't a super extensive DC video. I was only here for 2 nights, so I didn't do anywhere near everything, you know, so hope it was helpful to you. I highly recommend doing a DC trip. If you've been previously, I would do like a long weekend, maybe like 3-4 nights to get like the major things done. If you've never been here and this is like your first time ever and you really want to spend time, a week easily. And then of course, like Baltimore is not far away, Philly's not far away, so especially if you're planning like an East Coast trip, all of that can be done in just a couple days. So if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel when you get a moment, and then of course if you are looking to book your next vacation, whether it be DC, Philly, anywhere in the world, do let me know. I have my details listed in the description down below, or feel free to drop me a comment and follow me on social media because you can always see where I'm at. So until next time, happy travels, bye.